All right, everybody, welcome to Best of NWS Raw After Show, November 16, 2015. And what a show it was. So I'm going to get right down to it. To start off Raw, we have this very long and drawn out 10 minutes for The Undertaker just to get to the ring. He comes out and he delivers a promo. You know, I like Undertaker, but maybe not as much as everyone else. I just don't want to hear him talk. I don't think he has to talk. I think he should just freaking kick ass and do the throat cut thing, and that's about all he needs to do. I don't need to hear him talking. I sure as hell don't want to hear Kane talking. I love the old school Kane where he never talked. He was so much more menacing and scary. And I know over the years, you have to have some development past that. But right now, I don't think Kane should be talking. I think it should be all Taker, and less is more, definitely with them. Wyatt is definitely the talker in this, so of course Wyatt comes out. They have an exchange, the Druids attack, but all the Druids look like they were like middle school sized kids, so that wasn't that impressive. And we're really going into this, I guess, a 2-on-2 match. I mean, it was talked about that it was going to be a Survivor Series style match with Team Taker versus Team Wyatt, and I thought that was very interesting. But I guess in this scenario, I really think the Wyatts need to win. They need to win. They have not won anything. Now that they're 4 deep, they should be mowing down people. So I don't know where we're going to go from this, but I'm really just hoping the Wyatts come out on top. So after that, we have our first tournament match of the evening with Kevin Owens versus Neville. Wow, and Neville pulled off some amazing moves. Kevin Owens, there's just something about him in the ring. He's must-watch kind of guy. And when you first look at him, you don't think so. But when he's in that ring, just something about how he works in the match, you could tell the big difference between him and someone the WWE is trying to make into a star, a la Roman Reigns. So Kevin Owens picks up the victory there. That was not a shock. I mean, this entire tournament, it was shocking that Ryback lost to Kalisto. But for the most part, everything has been paint by numbers, by the book. So Kevin Owens picks up the victory there. After that, we have Tyler Breeze with his first singles non-tournament match on Raw, and he's going against R-Truth. And I think we all knew R-Truth wasn't going to win. I mean, why even have this match? I mean, it's kind of silly. I know he needs to get a victory, but WWE loves putting out these matches where we know, absolutely he was going to win. And the squash match definitely has its place, but in this case, why even have the match? I would have rather Tyler Breeze came out, cut a little promo or something different. So after that, we have Dolph Ziggler versus Ambrose in our second tournament match of the evening. And I think everyone pretty much thought Ambrose was going to win, and he did. Dolph Ziggler, I just don't know why he re-signed with the company. He must have had some demands and they met it, and he said, oh, well, I guess I can, do one final run. He came back, and it's for what? It's really sad to see. We had to sit through 15 John Cena title reigns, and we couldn't have had one Dolph Ziggler one. Could John Cena been the 14-time champion and maybe Dolph Ziggler one time? And I'm talking WWE champion, not World Heavyweight champion. Couldn't that love been spread around a little bit? It's just silly to me that Dolph Ziggler's been so wasted. I mean, I love Ambrose, but I was rooting for Dolph Ziggler in this match because, Ambrose is younger than Ziggler and he has a lot more ahead of him. But of course, I think we're going to come down to the end of Roman versus Ambrose, blah, blah, blah. So Ambrose picks up the victory there. Nice change of pace in the beginning. They had to kind of slow match, and the announcers did a good job of explaining it like nobody wanted to make the first mistake, and that made a lot of sense. And that's when your announcing really helps the in-ring action. So that was a good part of that match. After that, we have the most entertaining part of Raw, the New Day, come out, cut a nice little promo on the Usos and Ryback. So you have the New Day come out. They're so entertaining. They're cutting their promo. They do a great thing in the ring, and they're all united. They're fun. They've changed so much in the year they've been around. It's amazing. Then you have the Usos come out to the same Usos entrance with no character development. they have nothing to say. They just come out and smile. Like, I don't know, I'm not sure why anyone likes them. I mean, they're not bad tag team, but they don't do anything. They're so boring. Like, okay, they come out, they do their little dance, they'll do a couple moves together. I mean, they're just nothing. There's no reason to root for them. Why? Because they're nice. Like, that was silly. And then you have Ryback. I feel kind of bad for him. He's ever since he lost the Intercontinental title, he's just been kind of lost in the shuffle. And when you're part of a six-man tag, it's pretty wasteful. I did like the setup of this match. The New Day's taunting the Usos and Ryback the whole match. Finally, Ryback has had enough. He just goes in there and destroys everyone, gets disqualified. New Day picks up the victory, but it was awesome because Ryback's like, I don't even care about winning. I just want to beat people up, and I think that's the mode Ryback needs to be in at all times. So hopefully that more of that from Ryback going forward. Hopefully the Usos do something. I mean, gosh, so boring. And then you have especially against the New Day. If the Usos were against the Matadors, then oh yeah, the Usos definitely are better. But against the New Day, nobody in the tag team division is close to the New Day. After that, which I was surprised they went with this match in this spot. I would have done it top off the show or the main event. But you have Cesaro versus Reigns. And again, Cesaro proves he's the best wrestler alive today. There's no one I think can touch him in the ring. He's putting on 5-star matches every time he's in the ring. And, WWE like to tout, oh, John Cena's putting on classic matches every week. No, not as near as good as Cesaro's doing. And Cesaro's doing it and losing every match. His fans keep getting more behind him. There's more Cesaro section. And he's like really thriving in this moment of he's in beast mode. From the second he comes out to the second he leaves, it's incredible what he has been able to do the past couple of months. And, I think we all were looking at this match coming into it. It's like, no way Cesaro's going to win. Reigns is the inevitable champion. And, I've said before, why even have this tournament? Like, why have the Roman Reigns will be the inevitable WWE Championship Memorial Tournament? Why even have the tournament? Just give him the belt. Like, this is making fans not care about him more. There's all these matches that always happen that's just the inevitable victory. Like, we know who's going to win. Like, there's no excitement there. The only excitement in this match was when Cesaro was almost winning. That's the only excitement that was really in this match at all. And Roman Reigns, he does the same thing he does every match. He has first one level of selling. He just looks like he has an upset stomach. That's all. You kick him, you hit him, you work on his arm, his leg. He has the same look on his face every time. He sells the exact same way. Cesaro's freaking jumping off the ropes, flying around the ring, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. He's doing all the work in the match, and Roman Reigns does his 5 stupid moves. He does a Samoan drop, a freaking slam, those really, really, really lazy, they're not punches, it's like a friggin' forearm, like it's like a clothesline in the corner. It's horrible. He looks horrible doing it. It looks so lazy. And then he does the drive-by, which is the stupidest move, and he wins with a punch and a spear. He wins with a punch. Like, his finishing move is a punch. Like, Cesaro can beat you 100 different ways, and Roman Reigns is out there with a punch and a spear. Like, it's one thing if the spear was the move that only he did. Charlotte does the spear. Rhino does the spear. I think a couple other guys do the spear. I mean, everyone does the spear, so that's not a finishing move. In a punch, so Big Show gets away with a punch because he's a 7-foot, 500-pound man. His fist is as big as a frying pan. Roman Reigns cocks his arm and punches you. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because he can't perform any other move. Cesaro, what we see in WWE from Cesaro isn't even scratching the surface of what this guy can do in the ring. Like, there's so much more that he can even show you. This final should have been Cesaro versus Dolph Ziggler. I mean, the two best they have in the company. And this whole inevitability of Reigns, it's a drag on the show. It's a drag. The ratings keep going down. Yeah, the kids and their moms keep watching. Of course. Some guys like it too, but the hardcore fan. It'd be one thing if Reigns won and it was a surprise. I think this guy needs to take some losses. I think that's when the fans will actually have some sympathy for this guy. I mean, for the past 2 years, he's just been the inevitable change. He's been like a dark cloud looming over the entire WWE. Like, we're waiting. Yeah, it's gonna rain, but it's not gonna be awesome. It's gonna suck. Everything's gonna be soggy and boring. He gets beat up 90% of the match and comes back with his cocking his arm and punching him, like just like Cena. He shows no work in the ring. Every good match he's had has been against a better opponent. So it's just sad to see. Cesaro should have been champion. He should have been a multiple time champion. This is what I'm talking about too. Cena's a 15-time champion. Cesaro couldn't have had one of those. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's ridiculous. Randy Orton's a 13-time, 12-time champion. Tell me Cesaro couldn't have had one of those reigns? Silly. It's so silly. So Roman Reigns picked up the victory there with a punch. After that, we have another waste of a match. You have the Ascension versus the Dudley Boys. Hey, the Dudley Boys are awesome. They're a great tag team. They have a lot of history. They could still pretty much go in the ring. But why even have them have a match? The Ascension, which was dominant in NXT, they were feared in NXT. Like, they were the biggest team. Nobody could beat them. They come up to the main roster and they're a joke. They're the jobber tag team. It's ridiculous. So you have Team 3D, two 40-something-year-old guys beat two young guys in 3 minutes. Like, why even have the match? Just have 3D come out, have some local talent, and just put them through a table if you want to have the cheap Dudley Boys pop. There's no point in having them have a match. Why even get in their gear? They didn't even work up a sweat. What was the point? They're just going to go in the back. So the Ascension spent more time putting on their face paint than they did losing to the Dudley Boys. Waste of time. After that, we have our next tournament match for the WWE title. We have Kalisto versus ADR, and like I said, Kalisto picked up an upset victory against Ryback. That's awesome. That's unpredictable. It was like a shock. There could have been a couple more in this tournament. I mean, at least, like, don't have Cesaro and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and Cesaro should have been in the semifinals, not in the quarterfinals. Ridiculous. So, Kalisto versus ADR, and Kalisto is amazing in there. He reminds me, not so much as the same style, but the same way I felt watching Rey Mysterio. I mean, he's so good. His moves are so crisp. He lands them so well. He never looks like he's fuddling around while doing them. He looks awesome while doing it. You have ADR, which he's awesome in the ring. They just messed him up with this Mex America gimmick. He could have came back, beat Cena for the title, and had some dominant heel run. But instead, they put him in this weird, like, why am I supposed to hate Mex America? Because they're promoting unity and they're promoting two people that have had issues in the past coming together, getting over their differences. I'm supposed to be mad at that? That's stupid. So you have ADR picking up the victory. I do like ADR. He can win any way. They haven't really used the cross arm breaker yet from him, but I mean, he could win so many different ways. Like, he beat John Cena with a backstabber and a kick in the head. He beat Kalisto with that corner where he jumps on their chest. I mean, that was pretty awesome. So I like that about ADR. There's the unpredictability. There's no finisher and then, oh, we know a 1-2-3 is coming. No, he can win at any moment. I like that. The Mex America gimmick is crap. They need to find something else for him, unless this is just a rib for him, saying bad things about the company. And then at the end, I guess pretty much the main event, we have the Divas title contract. This is another reason why we should stop calling it the Divas title and start calling it the Women's Championship. And I think they had this planned before the Rousey home fight, so they were really trying to hype up the women here. I'm happy they stuck with it because it was a nice change for the show. I don't think the women on the main roster are quite at this level. They've done this before in NXT, and it's worked quite well because the women were the best match on the card in NXT. Here, they have a lot more to prove. And, Charlotte showing a lot of her heart behind the scenes, like, about her brother and her path to where she is today. Paige playing the awesome heel. I mean, she was just born to play that. There was a couple awkward silences. I don't know if they were waiting for each other to say lines or what it was, but when it came down to Paige pretty much saying that Charlotte's brother didn't have the fight to stay alive, which was awesome that they went there and used that, because that drives on real emotion. This is where I talk about where some of these other people have no character development. Charlotte has, not only does she want to beat her to keep her title, she wants to beat Paige for hurting her, for breaking up Team PCB, for talking about her family. Like, there's so much more invested in there than when we watch the Dudley Boys beat the Ascension for no reason, or we see the Usos come out for no reason, like no reason. So, and now that they had the verbal exchange, and then they had this awesome brawl. And the best part about the brawl for me was the way they were throwing each other around. It didn't look pretty, but it was in a good way. There's been a couple times in these matches lately where it's looked pretty ugly and not in a good way, but this looked good. Paige's jacket like getting ripped up, and the referees and how they did the pull aparts was really awesome. I mean, this is probably the best women's segment we've had in a long time. Better than that stupid Divas Revolution segment. And I hate how the announcers say when Stephanie McMahon ushered in the Divas Revolution. No, NXT ushered in the Divas Revolution. Stephanie McMahon just walked out and introduced some people, which was stupid at the then, and it's stupid now because she's supposedly a bad guy, but I'm supposed to be happy that she did this. It's stupid. So Raw, all in all, it's pretty much like we're on the Titanic and it's hit the iceberg and we know it's going to sink. But the band keeps playing, so we're still sitting there like everything's fine. Like we're hoping Cesaro might win. He doesn't win. The boat's still sinking. We're hoping Roman Reigns doesn't win the title. The boat's sinking. It's sunk. Like I said, it's a dark cloud looming over. Yeah, they can have a swerve, but the thing with WWE, it used to be who's the best. Who is the absolute best right now? Rock, Austin, Triple H, Mick Foley. They were the best, like best in the ring, best on the mic. The crowd was behind them. That's what mattered. And nowadays, instead of that, if you were going to look at this card and you were going to say who's at the top of the game right now, that's Cesaro. Who's number 2 behind that? Probably Kevin Owens. I mean, Roman Reigns wouldn't be in the top 5. The fact that he goes out and sleeps 90% of every match he's in and the other guys make him look good doesn't make Roman Reigns good. I mean, if I went out there with Cesaro could carry me to a great match. That's how good he is. All I have to do is stand there and look sick like Roman Reigns does and lay on the ground and take some uppercuts. Roman Reigns literally does nothing. Just hand him the title already. I'm sick of this tournament. I can't wait for this tournament to be over. Where's Daniel Bryan? And then not only that, so we have Roman Reigns, the inevitable champion. We have no Daniel Bryan. Cesaro keeps losing. And then who's coming back in 2 weeks? Cena. The ratings are going to continue to plummet with everything that's happened in the past year. Every year after WrestleMania, I'm thinking, wow, they're finally going to go with the youth movement. They're finally going to go ahead and push forward. And they have these great guys, and they just waste them away with nothing. So I guess we'll see the Survivor Series if they try to pull a swerve. But even that, I mean, I don't want to see Dean Ambrose heel. And Roman Reigns turning heel at this point. I mean, how amazing they could have had another Daniel Bryan moment with Cesaro. And they're wasting it away just because they have to get Roman Reigns there and a few people cheer him in the crowd and he sells some ugly t-shirts. I mean, I guess, but Vince McMahon is most definitely out of touch. So for Best of NWF, this is our Raw After Show, and we are out.